Okay, part 2. Today is week 2. Today we will be learning how linear equations and also quadratic equations. So for some of you, it will be reviewed from previous courses and linear equation. And before we will solve this linear equation, let me remind you, what does it mean to solve an equation? But actually, before we do that, what is even an equation? And an equation is a statement where two sides are equal, right? So remember this old type of scale that's called Lady Justice scale. You put weights on one side or put something on one side, say apples are here, right? And weights are on the other side. It has to be balanced, right? So once isn't in balance, that's your equation. Your Lady Justice is in balance, right? If it just shows it kind of this way, right? If it's hanging, one is up and one is down, you know that the inequality, right? When one side is heavier than another, that's inequality. So it's equation is a statement where two that are equal. Now, if you don't see an equal sign and you just have expression that you need to simplify, please don't try to solve for anything. I've seen many times students have just expression given like this one on the right without 48, and they are somehow meant to find x, not even sure how and from where. Right? You only need to solve for x when it's an equation. Now, what does it mean to solve an equation? Solve an equation means choose the solution that will make the equation true, right? In this case, we need to find those type of x's that I would plug back in the equation here and there, and we'll do all the simplification, and that everything will equal to 48. So we need to solve for that variable. So distribute force first. Relation for you here. You need to open parentheses. Be very careful when you're opening parentheses. Negative in the front. Having negative is same as having -1, right? Having -1. So you have negative in front of parentheses. All the signs will switch to opposite, right? To opposite. So instead of 2x, you're going to have now -2x. And in -16, you will have positive. So you don't need to squeeze at -1 if you remember that your signs are switching to opposite, right? Now, combine like terms, and this 6x and -x are like terms. So 4x plus 16. And we don't add or subtract to both sides. What I do is I move from one side to another, and jumping from one side to another, guys, always switch this sign to opposite. Positive 16, it becomes a negative. Switch sign opposite. That's all. You don't need to make this equation longer than it already is. Subtract 16 here, subtract 16 here, then I become 5 terms. And what do you have? 4 term equation on left and 4 on the right. It's 8. If you add terms and subtract terms, you're going to make it 16 terms, right? Almost. We don't want to do that. Just take anything you don't want, put it the other side. And I didn't want this because I'm trying to solve for x, right? I'm trying to separate x from entire equation, and I do grouping. So number goes with number, letter stays alone, right? 16 went all the way on the other side, became -16, right? Constants together, letters together. And 4 minus 16 is 2. And then since you have multiplying here, you need to divide by 4, right? So x is 8. Get the solution here since I was simply equation, but you could if you wanted to, right? Times 8 is 16, 16 minus 16 is 0. 6 times 8 is 48, 48 minus 0, that definitely equals 48, right? This was fairly simple one. Oh, in I'm going too fast, or if you're not catching up, or if you didn't understand what happened here, always ask questions. And by the way, when it's recording, don't worry about what you're typing there, because WebEx doesn't record the chat. If you mention on the previous recording, the chat is usually not there. Collection. So here we would want to get rid of denominators, right? I know you like denominators, right? I know you like fractions. Say yes. Answer. So denominators are 3, 1, and 5, basically, right? What is LCD here? Find F1, find LCD. Since 3, 1, and 5 is what? 15, right? Because this needs 5 and 1, this needs 3 and 5, this needs 1. So LCD is 15. What to do is multiply each term of this equation by LCD. Step 2. Multiply each term by D. And now you will see all that will happen is just we will get rid of that crazy fraction, right? So times 15, both sides, and you would need to distribute. Just remember, multiply each term by 15. See how simple this will get? You can add 1 here if you want to, but you don't have to. Now, this goes to 15 5 times 5 15 3. Oh, canceling there. What is wrong with here? 5 goes to 15 3 times, right? Right. 5 times x is left there. 10 is 16. Make sure you keep this in parentheses when you multiply number over more than one term, right? Plus 3 times x minus 15. If anyone is lost here, let me know. I just simplified. Oh, see, I got multiplying everything by LCD. I got off the denominator. Now you see it's just simple linear equation. Let's solve it. Or call it distribute. Right? 3x minus 40 times 30 and 15, 49. If anything right or left, let's combine terms. 55. 45 minus 15 is 30. That means 15 minus 45 is also 30, but negative, right? Now remember to be with letter. Numbers stay long. So apples to apples, grapes to grapes. So this you need to be grouped together. So this letter wants to be with another letter on the left. So you have 5x. Since it was positive 3x, to the left becomes negative 3x. The negative is where it used to be, nothing to it, right? And if you're confused by this is same as just subtract 3x from both sides. Same thing, right? Minus 3 is 2 of those x's, right? You subtract those x's. Now multiplication, divide by 2 both sides, so x is negative 10. Since I double it denominator, I put onto an answer here variable in denominator, right? Okay. It checks, so we can check if we want to. So if you plug it back, 15 over 3, then you plus negative 15 minus 10 over 8. So negative 3 is negative 5. Negative minus 15, negative 10, negative 30 over 5 is negative 6, and 1 minus 6 is also negative 5. So it's true, negative 5. Again, it would have been true because we had no denominator or anything. So it was simply an equation we solved. So that was our answer. Okay, let's here you see, always be very careful. Always be very careful on this part. See, denominator part. Why did it happen? Hello. And why? Who can tell me why I made those denominators blue? What danger I saw in those denominators? Anyone get a danger about those denominators there? Scare. Very. And why? Why? What do you think it scared us? Diana, Now, why? What were worried about that X there? Worried about it. But because we can't divide by 0, right? So I have to be very careful to not make my X 0, because if X is 0, division by 0 is undefined. I cannot divide by 0, so therefore I have to exclude that from my solution. First, let's find LCD. And LCD is 9x, right? Since I have X, I have 9. I'm just filling out spaces. This needs 3. Now this needs 3. 9 is 3 times 3, so this needs only x, and this needs 9. So now they're all same, 9x, 9x, 9x. So this is 9x, LCD is 9x. So now you need to take an LCD and say, okay, the denominator cannot be 0. And if both sides by 0, divided by 9 is 0. So x cannot be 0. We're setting this restriction and telling ourselves, yes, equation, yes, find solution. But be careful here, right here, be very careful to not make your denominator 0. Right? Denominators are integers here. Okay? So we're doing the same thing. We're multiplying everything by that LCD. Spaces there. And it doesn't matter whether you put it before fraction or after, right? Times 9x times 9x times 9x. See how simple this rational will become? X's will cancel out here, right? Nothing cancels here. X cancels, and 3 goes to 9 3 times. 9 and 9 cancels. Let's read what we have. 9 times 3. 9 times 3x, 27x. I could have done here right away too. Well, 3 times x is 28x. Now let me make this 27 at the same time, or we just can keep it like that. Remember what I do? Two-letter number to number. It doesn't matter. You can put numbers to the left and letters to the right, or you can put backwards. It really doesn't matter. In case I would put letters to the right because it is bigger than 27. So I would put 27 to the right. I would have 28 minus 27, which is x. So I wouldn't need to divide by negative. But if you're confused and if you just remember that you need to move your letters on the left, you can do it as well. So what I'm doing is I'm switching places for and this 27. Moves to the left becomes negative 28 x 7 right here. 12 here, nothing happened to 12, and then 27 switched places 28x and became negative 27, right? plus 27 is negative x. Minus 27 is 10, that's 27 minus 12. And 7 minus 12 is negative 15. Sensitive, but I have to have positive x in my answer instead of having negative 1. So I both sides by negative 1. So if I move letters to the right, I wouldn't need to do it by negative in this case. So x is 15. Now instead of plugging all this 15 all the way back here, check, you can trick and say, well, the equation said, please give me an answer but 0. So 0 was the only danger, which means your answer. Did you understand this? Let me know if you have any questions. And if you type anything, I'll assume that you don't have any questions. Okay. The recording back. Now, the next question says, find all the values of x that satisfy the given condition. And they say, y1 is that much, y2 is that much, and at the end they told you that y1 and y2 are equal to each other. So to do is you need to make those equal to each other. Since let's see this y1 and y2 are equal, so if left sides are equal, then right sides will also be equal, right? So all you need to do is just take those expressions on the right, because y1 is that much, y2 is that much, and we will given that they're both equal. Try to solve this without my help, and I'm going to be back in seconds. I'm back. Distribution, right? Same here. X minus 10 plus x 6 times negative 4 negative 24 plus 18. I'll look negative 4 after the first parenthesis. Yeah, that one. Oh, we have. Thank you. That one. I missed it, guys. You're right. Negative 4. -4 right here. Minus 4. Let's combine like terms. So negative 10 and negative 4 are like terms in this case. Minus 14, right? Those were terms. This guy, and also this guy, and then all like terms as well. And 24 plus 18 is same as 18 minus 24, right? If you confuse, you can move them backwards. And if 24 minus 18 was 6, 18 minus 24 is also 6, but negative, right? The letter wants to do with letter. And this wants to be number with number. So you do it all, and then you just subtract that, x. 6 place with negative 14, right? It moved to became negative 6. Negative moved to the right, became positive 14. Right? Calculate 2x, right? 8 divided by x squared. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Question number 6. It's a question on this unit, but that might be a little confusing.
Okay, so x such that y is 0. That's the same thing, really. So instead of y, they said put 0. So writing all these with y being 0. Let's just, okay. And minus 2 minus x minus 3 x plus 1. I'll take care of this innermost bracket first, right? Innermost of this one first. So remember, when you have negative sign in the front, right here, let's have it negative 1. You can always squeeze it negative 1. Just to sure, you don't have to. And remember, when you have negative in the front, all signs in parentheses will switch to opposite, or you can just keep it the way it is. So don't anything, keep everything as you used to have before. Keep everything in order, organized, nice and clean, and you will never mess up. Times 2 is negative 2. This one times negative. So maybe those are what you need to do here. One times negative x will be positive x, right? Let's take care of this bracket right here. That becomes parenthesis now. And x. That negative 2, remember, the negative belongs to 2. It doesn't belong to x. So this always make sure those signs to each other. So what is only x plus x, right? X plus x, which is 2x. You could put that over also, doesn't matter. Let's just take parenthesis first. Minus 2 and minus 3 times x plus 1. 2x, and 2 times negative 2. We need to distribute this. We could have distributed this right side, right part at the very beginning. So 4x minus 4 minus 3x minus 3, right? Negative times positive. And I like terms. I like term. Like term. You could put it to the other side. It doesn't matter. And negative 3x, right? 4x and negative 3x is just x. 4 and negative 3 is negative 7. Same as positive. I'm going to put x. Really deep. Just going to leave 7 over here. X equals the same thing as we have it this way. And you leave 7 to the right with the 7. That's what, and if you get questions, we agree that you will type, right? Yeah. For solo. What 5? Why do we need 5 steps here? Solving word problems to find the number described. And number is decreased by 2. There is this 30. I'm not sure what the 5 step means in this case, to be honest. What is the number? Just simple linear equation. Which number n or x doesn't matter, right? Number. So it is x, right? This is my number. And if number, see, my number is x. Twice a number. Twice a number is just 2x, right? Twice a number. Does decrease. So this twice is this part, right? Decrease what? So decrease by 2. So twice a number decreased by 2. So your whole equation is basically written in this math language, right? See, the number decreased by 2. It's right here. So don't get confused because it's a problem, it's something horrible or hard. No, it's just translated into words. And the result is it is 30. See how simple is that? Is always equal sign, right? So let's solve it. Simple linear equation. Negative 2 moves to the left and to the right. Becomes F2. By 2 is 18. And then twice 18 minus 2, right? Or twice 18 minus 2 will become 34. Okay. So we have questions on that one either. Test. One number exceeds another by 23. That's 65. So let's make that number n or x. Let's use x there. It doesn't matter. Number. So this is number x. And that exceeds another by 23. What does it mean to exceed another by 23? Tell me, what does exceed another by 23? If the speed was 50 miles per hour and you were speeding, so your speed exceeded my speed by 20, that means we're driving 70 miles per hour, right? Well, actually good, right? But it exceeds. So this equation here, who can tell me the equation? This is one number, right? Okay, this is one number because we are talking about sums. I have one number, another number, 65, right? I can even remove all the x's and just treat this as just not math, but just some problem. So number plus another number, right? So plus another number equals 65. One number exceeds another. Let's say it was just a number that exceeds this by 23 would have been x plus 23, right? That's it. That's it. Let's solve x plus x is check. That's 3. Which is right, make it negative. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Okay, if x was 21, and here 21 plus 23, right? 44 and 21, that equals 65. Really simple, real simple. Always read the words. So x means plus, right? Sum there. Sum this. X means that by 20. And this means this equals 65. So number was x. So we're able to read this sentence. Next. Two health clubs. First, membership fee of 17 plus monthly fee of 13. While the second offer something. After how many months will the total cost of each health club be the same? So, for one club is $13, right? Flat fee. So membership is that much, and you pay $13 per month. Secondly, if you went for 1 month, how much would you pay? 1 month times 13, that's what we do, right? This month you would pay $10 because you already paid this, right? The flat fee was 17, the membership fee, and you would pay as many months as you went, right? 2 times 13, 3 times 13, so on and so on and so on. Number of months, if you n number of months, right? N number of months, you pay your membership and some n number of months. times 14. That would have been your equation. So money you would pay what of x and y, of x with in this case 13x, right? That's how much you would pay. And money you would pay for the second club, what was here? 12. That's a fee plus $3 number of months. And just to see that was number one. Now, of course, we need to figure how many months will total cost of each health club be the same. Means. And the dollar amount will be equal, right? When the price will be the same. So the dollar amount for first is that much. If the dollar amount for second is that much, I make them equal. That's all. So 18 plus 13x equals 12 plus 14x. That's simple. Letters actually to be right in this case since 13 is 14. Wait, 13 minus 12 equals -13 plus 14, right? Or 14 minus 13, it doesn't matter. But put it center. I lost here. X. 17 minus 12 is 5. 13 minus 13 is x. So x is 5. Well, if you're doing this in my math lab,
If you listen my message, I just feel like my course somewhere in the right place. I wonder if it may better now. Or maybe. Now, this 5 was number of months. So make this M, which what you found is M, the first question. But then would be second question coming, what is the total call each club at that point? So you don't have to plug it in both of them because this was the point where we find that they were equal. So if you plug it in one of them only, that's enough, right? Plug here. $4 times 5 months, you would pay $60, right? And 6 plus membership fee would have been dollars. But if you would plug it here, right? I think. To turn email, I guess. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Just need to know did everything correct. No, because that's 7. So because I'm looking now here and I'm getting 82, and here I got 72. So 14 times 5 is not 60, it's 70. Right? Because 10 is 50, 5 times 4, 20, 40, and 50, and 20 is 70. So that's 82. 82. Same thing. 5 times 13, 65, and 65, 17 is 82. So it doesn't matter which one you get. $82 after 5 months. Okay. Next one. The athletic field is twice as long as it weighs. Find the perimeter of the athletic field that is 70. Perimeter is 72 dimensions. Okay, so we know the perimeter. Always draw. I always draw any word problem I have just to visualize it. Twice as long as its width. So that was width. Twice as long means twice times the width. Right? That's it. And perimeter is 72. Certainly welcome to plug it in the formula 2 lengths plus 2 widths, but notice for some students this gets confusing. So instead, you know what is perimeter, right? Perimeter is all the way around the figure. So you start from here, you add this side, you add that side, you add this, and you add that. And since this is a rectangle, this also will be 2W, this also will be W, right? All you need to do is just add all four sides up, and that's it. 2 plus, you don't need any form, plus W plus another 2W plus another W equals 72. Now let's suppose you have 2, 5, 6, right? 6W. Divide W is 72. The entrance, so I need to also have the lengths. If 72, what is that 72? So goes missing. 72 over 6. 12. So now take this 12. Put it right there. 12 will be my length because length is that much, right? And then so this is 12, 24, right? Width is 12, length. So I have this problem on perimeter, and oftentimes people find it confusing. Draw it, please. Draw it. And you draw it. Don't try to plug here in the formula which one is your length. Add this plus this plus this plus that. You don't need to distribute here and do all kinds of crazy things, right? How we solve for formula? Solve this formula for n means just separate n from this. Separate n. Rewrite it. So A equals W plus N. This green is the letter that you need to solve for. Green is the one that you need to solve for. And this is the one that you need to keep alone by itself. That you need to get rid of everything that's close to the letter. Every first thing to get rid of is this guy, right? The one that was added. So because R is closer to it, so we will get rid of this close friend later. Let's get rid of neighbors first. So this needs to come over here. That neighbor WGU, now R stayed here. He wants to be alone. Remember that get rid of this R, please. Just get rid of this R. I want to be alone. Here equals this expression. Now it's alone and positive. Make sure when it's alone it's positive. Make another example in case you get this type that much. Now say if you had just making some P equals, let's say, R minus for L first. What do in order to not mess up on negative, actually could put the LT all the way to the left. That's better, trust me. You can't put that R to the left if you want to subtract it, divide by negatives, and you need to switch to negative. It's gonna mess. When you solve for the letter that's being presented negative, take the term, put it, switch places, and this P, put it. P is the next guy on the left alone. You could keep P first and then move P in the next step if you wanted to. Like this, you could say P plus LT equals R. Then you would still need to move P R minus P, then divide by T, so R minus P divided by T. It's just switch places. Easy. It's easier for me. I should ask if that's easier for you. So why I made the colorful. Still here. Switch places with that negative guy. Now it P positive, it became negative itself. Now L is positive. I don't have to divide by negative and switch all the signs in P minus R. It's going to be crazy. What you need to do is to get rid of this T. Oh, that would have been your answer, okay? Solve for letter. So when you need to solve for letter, it means even the numbers here, don't get confused. Just same thing as regular number story. The guy that you're solving for wants to be alone. That's what you need to remember. You need to get rid of everything that's close to that letter. First, all the unwanted neighbors, then close friends. Okay. Now we need quadratic equation. So now we finished linear equations. Now we'll be solving quadratic equations. And quadratic equations have this form. Squared plus px plus c equals 0, right? Is to solve this quadratic equations, and one thing is solved by factoring. To be honest, since this is the online course, and you to put your final answer, even if it says solve by completing the square, it will ask you final answer, right? So if you get stuck on complete, you still need to know how to do it. But if you get stuck, don't leave that question blank. Go and solve it by quadratic formula or by factoring, whatever method you know, as long as you put the answer. Okay? The method will only require you to put the answer. Factor this now. Factoring. Sum of negative 63. That way is what? What the first factors of negative 3 that comes to your head are which one? Which of those? Most known factors of 63. Who remembers them? Start running 1, negative 63, then 3, and so on. So, but yeah, 9 and 7, that's correct. So 9 and 7, the first one that would come to your head, because 9 times 7 is 63. But you don't remember, again, grab calculator and start joining. And 1, 3, and so on, and then you know it's not divisible, right? So 7 and 9, negative 9, or 9, negative 7. And you can see which combination gives us negative 2. We did right in previous, did we? Yeah, we factor how to factor in unit 1, I mean class 1. So now we need to find which combination gives us negative 2, and this is the one. So you were right. Negative 9, this guy, because 1 minus 9 is negative 2, and that's what I need here. Parenthesis, and you say x is there. And you don't need to spend time on all this, to be honest. You know that your answers are always opposite of your factors, so you were correctly at the beginning. So negative 9 and 7 is your factors, but your answers at the end will be negative 7 and 9. So opposite of what you see here in factors. Your answer will always be opposite. But now you're going to plug it here, right? 7, 9. And now you use that's called product property. Product property states one or two factors equal to 0, and two of them are both equal to 0. Otherwise, you cannot get 0 in the answer here, right? Either x plus m, this whole thing is 0, and parenthesis will be 0, or either the second guy is 0. So if you have you would do the same thing, because this is your factor number 1, this is your factor number 2, and you would make each of them equal to 0. Well, this doesn't do this problem, but just showing you, if you had factors like that, they would still be factors. And you do parenthesis there. Move side becomes -7. Move -9 to the other side becomes +9. Once you found your factors, you knew your factors. Look here, are opposite. Your answers are opposite of your factors. That's it by using graphing utility and identifying x-intercept. Well, it's on graphing calculator. Since graphing calculator is allowed, it check during or graphing utility. So if you graph this, y equals x squared minus 2x minus 6, 3, and find x-intercepts if they exist, and in this case they do, there'll be your x-intercepts, -7 and 9. So the graph would show the answer. Okay, square root property. If not a square root property, so if I say x squared equals 9, what would be if my x squared was 9? What would be the answer? So Brianna, what else could the answer? The answer, guys? About 83 would work. Do you think next work? Works correct, Brianna, right? Because we're right in parentheses squared is also 9. So what we do is when you have squared x squared, you take square root of 9, yes. But the little guy 2, when it's even, you do here plus or minus. Don't forget that part. It's very important. Plus or minus. Plus minus. Oh, I did it there. I wanted it here. Equals plus or minus 3. So when you say square here, or 4 or 6 or 26 or 5006, doesn't matter. And no two answers will work. Both of them will work. So what you need to do here? -5 squared equals 36. Please don't pay attention what you have there. Just ignore it completely. All something squared equals 36, right? You could think. Right? X squared equals 36. You know, on the right you will have plus or minus root of 36, right? To get the 2 over here. Something that you had here would have -6. And now I can bring that something up over here. And correctly. One of them is x plus 5 equals 6. And then is x plus 5 equals -6. Right? So 5 to the right becomes 6 minus 5, which is 1. And then move 5 over here. -6 minus 5 which is 11. I think something wrong, and let's see where. Yes, because it was x minus 5, and x was 5, and yeah, I just so you know, you're right, it was x minus 5, Liana. I figured it's my answers now. I solved this, I'm looking at 1 and 11, look here, I'm like, wait a second, negative 11 minus 5 with negative 16 squared is not 36, so see, when I said scratch, 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 here, this scratch looked for me, it was plus 5, but that minus. Yeah, let's do this since I'm saving notes for that. And I will put her real quick. Pay attention on chart because I know I have students that always. So it was x minus 5. So x minus 5 equals 6, or x minus 5 equals negative 6. See, I really don't like making notes like for teaching. Time I taught on the regular class, so I just write and solve, write and solve. And my coach always tell me, have everything written, and then you can write from there. And I feel it's harder for me to look somewhere what is solved than to copy it from that paper, and I just make those accidental mistakes. We figure them out at the end. So I hope you don't mind. It's really hard for me to from paper to read solved problem from paper. It's just easier to solve it on the board. So I would move and notice, of course, if I'm something wrong here. Bring up this age. Okay, so to the right. So that x. It's is 5, so x is 11. 5 moves to the right, becomes positive 5. Negative 6 plus 5. And now we have correct answers. 6 squared is 36. Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. Negative 6 squared is also 36. Right? 2 more. Quadratic equation by completing this. Again, that's not really simple, so you're welcome to use any method at this point. But you would need still to know how to do completing square, because we would need that later for finding the vertex form. So please don't skip it now, even though you can put answers in my math lab without doing completing square. But trust me, you will need it later. Otherwise, if you don't learn how to do this, you won't be able to transform the function into vertex form. So completing the square works. How do we complete this square? Let me take some other examples. Say, have x squared plus xx. Say, like that. Right? Now, saying, how would I get the last number here? I get perfect trinomial. And what does it mean? Fat x plus 3 squared, that guy, x 3 squared, x squared plus 6 plus 9. If you fill it out, you'll see it's that. And why? Because I have this formula. AB everything squared equals firm squared plus double first and second plus second term squared. Then FOIL, and you see that's the same thing. Now, when you look at this, it's this trinomial, but it has 9 missing. So you should find here what that the last one. So what would be here perfect trinomial? That's what means it's complete square. It's not complete, so it has third and second and doesn't have C here, the last one. How takes that one, split in half, and then square it. see it was double term to get 6. You double it. 2, 3x is 6x. But to find that last term, just remember this. Take the 2 squared. So it's squared. Let's find it was 9, that last guy. So 9 is the number that goes to that complete 9. Now let's do in this case, the case that we had given, squared plus 4x. So I need to complete it. So I need to find this last guy. Remember what you do? Take 4, the middle guy, that one. Half and square. 2 squares. So in this case, it was also 4. So usual case when both of them are 4s. This is the 4. This is a number for complete square. This is a number that I need to add here. Add 4. But cannot add 4 just to one side. If I only add it to one side, I will have this balance on my justice scale. My left side will become heavy. The number I need here, yes, I need it right here. Right? This is completed square. Oh, you put it in parentheses. The part is 64, which is 6. You put it parentheses. In parentheses, you put, that was 2 squared. Because you always put the number before it was squared. This 2 squared, the 4 you put here the end. But this was squared, that divided 2 before it was squared. This number that comes here to put it back. See, now square is completed. Right? And now square it properly. Something squared equals 64, and something equals plus or minus root 64. Minus root 64 is plus or minus 8. Now we solve them separate. Move to the right. 2, 6. -2 is -10. Confusing, I agree, but we'll work on those later more. Since now again you could try factoring of this, but by factoring you would move 60 to the left and would have x squared plus x minus 60 equals 0, and use this as a quadratic formula. Or what is the thing called? Factoring. Factoring. And the factor of 60 would have been a -6, it would give you 4, right? And it's so much easier to do this 60 to the left and factor 6 to -6, right? So you can use that if you want to. And if it's not factorable, then you would use quadratic form. The factors are 10, -6. It means that would have been -10 and 6, the ones that we got right here. Same thing. Okay. Oh, there's no last one. That was the last one. I said we had more. So I saw that one. Why I remember there was number 15. How to solve a quadratic formula. Maybe there was a next session. I don't remember, but it was there. We can cover it on Sunday. We'll be out for conference. I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I will be out for 2 days. So if I respond a little late, if I don't respond on time, um, but I will try to check my email, but I might be on flight for quite long, so I'll think that I'm ignoring your email or not checking because I will be traveling. We'll check back on Saturday evening, but I will post a link. We'll post a link tonight for Sunday session. So Sunday session is for tutoring. Okay. Any questions for me, Jay? And that we'll be moving this on Tuesdays instead. Being on Sunday. So from Tuesday to Sunday, you will have those several days to work on your homework and then bring your questions on Sunday. Yes, I think there was another one. I think if my memory is still good, that's how I remember it was. But if it was, I remember there was quadratic formula, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was from another section. I don't know. I didn't have it here. It was, you can find it in homework. So go to homework. Yeah. Uh-huh. I should move maybe a little closer. I said Tuesday is better. They never actually said what time on Tuesday. So, said about time. We can do 5 or we can do early if that's better for you. Only free on Tuesdays after 2. The job on Tuesdays, Thursdays. No, is it 4? Tuesdays at 2. So would 4 be better? Maybe send just questionnaire to see it's prefer. You good. Okay, we can put 5. Okay. That's the recording for now, and then you can ask me questions.